Hey everybody, this is Jim from Jim's Coleus. I'm going to do a quick video on how I make up my hanging baskets. And as you can see here, I have quite a few. I have about 24 hanging baskets. I have a couple of these rectangular pots that I make up each year. But these are basically 8-inch plastic hanging baskets. I get them from a wholesaler. I think they're like $2 a piece, so I buy in bulk. And I just pick out an assortment of different Coleus. You know, try to switch out the colors. Maybe look at each plant that I have, and just make up something nice. And there's some younger ones they haven't yet filled out, but some of them grow a little faster, some of them have a little broader leaf. These, again, important, good quality soil, some fertilizer, water. You know, hanging baskets are pretty well drained. That's a beauty. Again, over the weeks, I just keep trimming them. Get that, you see some of that bottom growth coming in. Some of these do pretty well on their own, but there's still a lot of growth coming in on the bottom. And they definitely, these are the ones that it's tough to cut these leaves, but that's what you do. If you're growing them for yourself, just trim. You see all that growth coming in, trim these leaves. See, this one's a little spotted and it's older. You got all that new growth coming in on the bottom. Just trim them. I mean, sacrifice them. Believe me, they'll grow in, and especially this time of year. In another 2 weeks, they really will grow in really fast. So again, it's hard to cut them, but they'll fill in. So just be patient, as I said in some other videos. So I like to mix them up. So I basically just take my singles, as you can see here. I try to organize my trays, light colors, types of Coleus. I grow a pretty large assortment, but this is small compared to the amount of Coleus that are out there. I try to, each year, try to get myself a few new ones. But again, I just look over all my singles, and that's how I make up my hanging baskets. I got them out in my, I set this up every few days. I can check out here real quick. I just set up a nice tent, shade, otherwise you roast to death. And again, the Coleus, especially these younger ones, they don't like that prolonged, hours long of sun. I mean, of course they do want sun, they do love sun, but they do need some shade. The ideal is morning sun and some shade. You don't want to plant your Coleus in a spot that gets a predominant shade, because they're just not going to grow well. You might not get the vibrant colors. So make sure you get some sun. Of course, with these pots, that's pretty easy to do. You can just move them around. But if you're taking singles like this and planting them outside in a larger planter or outdoor somewhere, just make sure it's a place that's going to get some sun. And if it's a place that dries out, that gets a lot more sun than shade, just make sure you just keep up on the water. You'll see them. They start to droop. There's a good example over here. I'll show you some Coleus that are looking for a drink. They're kind of drooping. Again, they're larger leaves too. They kind of fall down on their weight, but this is generally some Coleus that have been in the sun, and they'll droop. Natural. There's a Coleus, perfect example of one I just trimmed. Got all that growth coming in, and this is a beautiful Coleus. I was like, oh, I hate to cut the leaves, but it has to get done. It just has to get done, and it'll fill in, and it'll be beautiful. I mean, I really should cut these two, and that'll really boost these in. So even under here, these need to go. That one on the bottom there, that really needs to go. So, you know, they keep these, you know, again, the tops, they want to grow tall, trim the tops, you know, get that bottom growth in there, and just keep them short when they're in pots like this. Keep them short. Just keep cut that new growth. You see that new growth coming in the top? So you can trim that. You know, just trim that very top. So any leaves on the bottom there that are kind of hanging on the soil, that's older, trim those. And your Coleus will grow pretty well. These are real eye catchers. So there's a red Defiance. So I'll give them a good airing out here. There's some beautiful a variety of pots. But the hanging baskets I find are a lot of fun, and they really, Coleus are great for hanging baskets. So I highly recommend, if you're growing them for yourself, get yourself some hanging baskets. And just all you need is 3. These are 8-inch. You need 2 or 3. I put 3 Coleus in there, and it just fills up real nice. So they have the bigger 12-inch pot hanging baskets. I didn't get any this year. It takes a lot of soil. So, but absolutely, I've done them too, and they come out just as nice, just huge. They grow. You know, if you give Coleuses, and if you put them in a big pot, you're gonna get big plants. It's just by nature, they really, you know, they really spread out nicely. So, there's a couple of plants that I unfortunately I overwatered. They were soaked when I was watering them. I wasn't careful, so I'm letting them drain real well and dry out in the sun. Not completely, but just letting them dry out more. So, but they're healthy. They're healthy Coleus. They'll be okay. Just want to make sure we get it, maybe dry out some of that soil. So, again, I got my Miracle Grow potting mix. This is the stuff I use. It's good quality stuff. You know, you're shortchanging yourself if you use anything less than that. So, that's beautiful. That's a kaleidoscope or finger paint to the right there. There's a jitters on the right there. They're very good for hanging baskets. Here's a couple of here's a jitters single, a couple of smaller, and see, these are smaller pots, and the Coleus is you know, generally grow smaller. These little, let's give you an example here. Take one of these out here. It's a nice little window. It's a nice little for windows or a table or wherever. Alright, so wishing everybody a nice week, a nice weekend rather. Enjoy your Coleus and your plants. Summer's knocking on our door here. So and I still have a few trays in the greenhouse. Also, some smaller Coleus for later on. So I like these these rectangular. These fill out really nice. Also, I find people really love that. That's an unusual rust color Coleus. So I think I got about 20 hanging baskets. Some ideas. Those are beautiful. So you can do it. Pick out some Coleus, get some good quality potting soil. Carefully remove your Coleus from your nursery pot. Place it in there. Just cover it up. How to, you know, spread them out. and you'll do fine. And any questions, comments, please leave a comment. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. Everybody have a good weekend. Thanks for watching Jim's Coleus.